Hi, today I want to talk about As I Lay Dying, specifically whether or not this book should be banned. I just want to let you know ahead of time that my original argument was tailored towards parents. I am trying to make it more general towards a college audience, but some of my arguments still are relevant to parents, so please think in that mindset. So, first off, I want to talk about the background of this book. I believe it's important to understand kind of the context under which it was written to truly understand the book. So this book was written by William Faulkner in the year 1930. It was said that Faulkner wrote the entirety of this novel in a 6 to 8 week period. The first time this book was banned was in Graves County High School, located in Kentucky, in the year 1986. This was where the peak of the controversy took place. All the articles came out around this time that had strong opinions about the ban of this book. Okay, so it's also important to kind of understand the plot of the book before you decide whether you want to ban this or not. So, William Faulkner's tale tells the story of the Bundren family as they deal with their loss of their mother, Addie Bundren. The story begins when the mother is alive and well, and she passes early on. A majority of the plot takes place as the family travels to Jefferson, Mississippi to bury her in her hometown. And I think the most remarkable part of the story is the fact that it's told from 15 different perspectives, 15 different characters. I believe that it's a really good way to get into the head of the characters. It makes it a difficult read, but definitely an interesting one. Okay, so this is the plot, but what makes this story controversial? There's many elements that go into this. Some of them include abortion, adultery, sexual themes, cursing, reincarnation, taking God's name in vain, as well as questioning the very existence of God. So why do I believe that students should be able to read this anyways? I just want to say flat out, I do not believe that elementary school students and middle school students would have the capability to understand the subject matter, nor should they be exposed to this. I am talking specifically about high school students. So, I have 4 main points that I'm going to talk about on why it should not be banned. First of all, that this would be sheltering high school students from information they are already aware of. Next, the literary and educational value of the work, the adverse effects of banning it, as well as the power and the controversy of this novel. So first, I'm going to talk about the uselessness of sheltering. If you look at this graph here, it shows you that 73% of teens are on social networks. They're constantly looking at the world surrounding them. And as you guys know, as young adults, the social media isn't always filled with the best stuff. And teenagers these days are plugged into that all the time. So this controversial sexual or religious information isn't something they're going to be unfamiliar with. So sheltering them from this in the form of a literary novel is not going to be effective. So, that leads me on to why this book is a literary and educational, it's valuable. So, 2 years after this book was published, it won the Nobel Prize for Literature, which is a very big reward. This book is constantly being used in high school and college classrooms for the higher level of literary content that it contains. This story is told from the perspective of 15 different characters, making it truly challenging to read, and it also sets it apart from so many other books. So it is such a unique book, and it should not be banned for that reason. Another point to consider are the adverse effects of banning it. There's the cliche you hear all the time, people want what they can't have. And you know that's especially true for teenagers. They're always trying to live on the edge. And so if you tell a teenager you should not read this book because it's got bad information in it, that's going to make them want to read it even more so. So ultimately, by banning this book for high school students with the purpose of sheltering them, you're actually creating the exact opposite situation. And the last point I want to talk about is the power in the controversy. So, while this book does contain controversial information, for example, the reality of death, this can prove to actually be a good thing. So, I think one of the most powerful moments in the book is in the beginning when the mother is actually still alive and she sees her son building her coffin outside of her window. Well, this is clearly a very vivid scene. It describes a reality of life that everyone has to deal with, and it's important for young people to understand. So, I hope you can understand my view on why I do not think this should be banned, and you as parents should truly consider that you have the power to reverse this. You are the ones who can talk to the school board and control what your children can and cannot read. Thank you.